Welcome to 100 Days of Python, the Python Code Along Challenge. I'm Bill Mosley, and if you want to find the entire listing of the 100 Days of Python, you can find it at my website, www.bmosley.com/hdp. Let's get started. All right, welcome to day 44, and today we are picking up where we left off from day 43 in terms of building save data and load data functions to add to our employee database application. If you remember from day 33, we built this great application that allows us to manage our employees, and it keeps the data for those employees in this dictionary, which has a nested dictionary inside it. And the problem with this is that every time we restart that program, it starts over with the same exact data set. So no matter what we do, we add an employee or terminate an employee or give everybody a raise, when we restart the program, because we didn't save that data, it starts over from scratch. And since we can't have that, we are going to build out these two functions that save the data every time we make a change to it. And then when the program starts, we need it to load the data from that file. So we're picking up here, and we're going to start out with a new function. I'm going to go ahead and comment this one out so it doesn't do anything right now. I'm going to start a new function called load data. It does not take any parameters because we're just going to load the data from the file and return it. So first thing we need to do is open up that file, and we used savedata.txt. And so I'm going to go ahead and use that same file handle, and I need to open it now for reading. I'm going to go ahead and read that whole file into a string variable, and then I can split it up by using the line break character. So I'm going to say str text, let's just say, is file.read, and that should be it. And now I'm going to say file.close. And so I'm done with that. And now I have a text file that I can use to work with this stuff. So the first thing I want to do is split that by the line break character. So I'm going to create an AR data array or list by taking that text, and I'm going to split it. And for this time, I'm going to use the line break character. So that gives me an array where I have each line. Now let's go ahead and print out each line just to see what we have. Or actually, I'll just print out that array. Let's print it, AR data, just to check and make sure that what we've got going on so far is working. So if I say load data and we run this, then you can see here we get our handy dandy data that was saved in the database. We only have those two records for now because we're using this sample data, but we have those two records and they look intact, and each one is an array item. So great, so far so good. Now that we have that, we can continue. So the next thing I want to do is I want to go for it. I want to go through each record or each line in that data and do something to it. I want to split it up even further. So the first thing I want to do is I want to create a really quick dictionary object to contain all of the data so that I can pass it back when I'm done with it. So I will use dmain as an empty dictionary object, and now I'm going to start going through that data, and I'm going to call it for str. Let's go ahead. I'll just say for record in AR data. So each record is going to be a string. So maybe I'll call it str record. So I remember that each one of these is a string for each str record in AR data. We're going to start by splitting that. Now, if you remember, what I've got here is a series of pipes. And so what I want to do is I want to start with the one that can't be duplicated. If I start by splitting on each one of these pipes, then every one of these you can see is a match. It'll split this thing up into a million pieces and I won't know what's what. But if I start with the 3 pipes, you can see that there's only one of these. And then next, I'm going to split the sets of 2. There are fewer of those, and you can see that gives me these key and value pairs. So, and then finally, I'll be down to just the single pipes, which I can use to split each key from each value. So that's kind of the general strategy here. So the first thing I want to do is split AR record into 2 pieces. So I'm going to say record, or I'm sorry, str record dot split. If I spell it correctly, it helps. There we go. And I'm going to split it with the 3 pipes. And now that gives me 2 pieces. The first part of it is the employee ID, AR record. So that's the first piece of it, index 0. The second piece of it is the data, E data equals AR record. And that's the second item in there. And there's only 2 because there's only one thing to split. So it gives us 2 parts. The next part, what we need to do is we need to actually split the data now into the individual key and value pairs. So I'm going to say AR fields equals str edata dot split. And now I'm going to use the 2 pipes, and that will give me all of the key and value pairs. Next up, I'm going to create a very temporary dictionary object, so I'll just call it dtemp. That's just going to hold these for a brief period of time. And I'm going to say for str field in AR fields. Remember, each field has 2 parts, so we're going to split that too. Okay, so I'm going to say AR single field SF, not San Francisco, single field str field dot split. And in this instance, I'm going to finally get down to the single pipe character. And now I can have the key and the value pairs. So I'm going to say str key equals AR SF 0 and str value, or val, I'll just say ARSF. You can see that my typing gets progressively lazier as I go through the program. Why type extra, right? So now I'm going to create a temporary dictionary object. I'm going to add, rather, the key and value pairs to this dictionary. Because remember, this innermost dictionary has these key and value pairs. So I'm going to add each one of these now, because I have these in this ARSF, or actually, those are the AR fields, each key and value pair. So an AR fields would contain both of these, and then ARSF just contains these 2 pieces. So, so what I'm going to do is add those. So I'm going to say dtemp, and I'm going to use str key as the key, and you might have guessed, I'm going to put the value in there. Now, it'll go through each one of those, it'll add it to the temporary dictionary object, and then I am going to add that whole dictionary as the value for this key, the employee ID number, right? So here's the key, and here's the value. So this is the temporary dictionary that I just created, and I'll add it using that key. So I'm basically doing this in reverse. But let's go ahead and finish up the main, and we'll say streid, and that equals dtemp. And that puts that together in that way. And so now, once I've finished all of this, I should have a dictionary that is built just like this one, maybe with a lot more records, but it's built just like that one. And now I can return that dictionary, D main. So the way I would implement this is I could say D EMP, which is my main data here, equals, and I'm going to say load data, and then I can print DEMP. Now, just to prove that this works properly, I'm going to comment this part out. You can see now DEMP is not defined. You can see that here. If I comment that out, I get the red underline saying, hey, that's not defined. But now it's defined with whatever I load from that text file. And I just so happen to have that text file already saved. So that's good from the last part of this assignment, the last part of this work. So here I go. I'm going to create this load data function. So let's go ahead and run this. And you can see here, we've got a beautiful little dictionary that displays just the way we want it to. So everything's put back together except for age, which should be an integer, and salary, which should be a float. So we've got one more thing to do. We need to check and see that salary and age are the correct data types. So what we need to do is right here, we need to intercept what the value is, right? So we're going to, before we put that in the dtemp array, we need to make sure we're going to check the key to see what it is. And if the key is age or salary, then we're going to convert those to an integer or a float accordingly. So here we go. So we're going to say if str key equals age, then what are we going to do? And that should be two equal signs because we're not saying it's age, we're asking if it's age. If str key is age, then we are going to say dtemp str key, and we'll just intercept it right here. We're going to say int str val. So we're going to convert that to an int on the fly. Elif str key equals salary, then we are going to convert that to a float on the fly. Str key equals float str val. And then if it's not one of those two, then we will just go ahead and put it in there. Let's give this a run and see how it goes. There we go. So we're back to age and salary being the correct data type, which we're going to rely on that down the road. So we want to keep our data integrity. Even if we're saving those as strings, we need to make sure they get converted back later on. So that's that, and that is our load data function. There's one more step here now. We want to take these back and integrate them into our program. But that will be day 45. Thanks for coding along with me. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching this video and coding along with me. Once again, if you want to access the entire listing of 100 Days of Python, you can do it at my website, www.bmosley.com/HDP. You can also access my book, Introduction to Python Programming for Absolute Beginners, at my website, www.bmosley.com/book. Thanks again, and we'll see you around.